You know, every now and then you come across those companies that are sort of, like Google and many others, but that are sort of showstoppers and actually helps out transforming your life in one way or the other. And these companies also tend to be the companies that are sort of at the forefront in the quest for talent, the ones that do the most new things, try out the most new things, and as Annika was talking about, finding new formulas for attracting and keeping the best possible talent. These companies tend to be pretty young as well. And one of our friends in the digital world, and a personal favorite of mine because it's helped my life tremendously, is Evernote, who's really positioning themselves as my external brain. And with everything that's going on right now, you could always use another brain. At least I could. So how do they actually secure their own, as they call it, insanely talented people? How do they attract them? How do they lead them? What's sort of in that formula for managing these insanely talented people? And for that, we're super happy to have Evernote's head of EMEA operations, Christina Riesen. Please welcome up. Big hand. And you can also choose where to sit.
Safety distance.
Safety distance, that's good. We'll keep the
Hello,
Google
everybody.
Books. Let's see if we have, there we go.
It's great to be here, and to start with, we take no questions, so you can relax.
No questions. You'll be provoking that much, so no questions. You've been in Stockholm, you're here a few times a year. We met yesterday for the speakers gathering, and you said I should spend more time here.
I wish I would be more in Stockholm.
Yeah, this is where you find a lot of the digital talent in Europe, so at some point you probably need to set up an office here.
Well noted.
Well noted. But also, this is one of your benefits in the company, because you can really, to some extent, choose to work from wherever you like.
Exactly. It's one of the things that makes working at Evernote great, because actually as an employee you have the possibility to work from wherever you are in the world. We have 11 offices, and some of our team members choose to work 1 week from Japan or 1 week from Taiwan or in Redwood City. So this is really helping you being part of a global society.
And we'll come back to that. But first, you're around 370 people, you're in 11 offices, and you have my external brain. For those of you, how many know Evernote?
Thank you.
There we go. How many uses Evernote? And how many are like me, sort of addicted to Evernote? Yeah, a few of us. Really good. But what is it? What is Evernote?
Evernote is an augmented intelligence platform that allows you to accomplish your life's work. Now, concretely, Evernote is great when it comes to helping you write, collect, find, and present whatever is important to you. We have reached 100 million users worldwide, and we are 6 years old, so we are still small. But most of our growth has been organic, and it's been basically word of mouth, people telling other people that Evernote is great and they should be using it.
Yeah, which is what happened to me actually once. So just to get an understanding, people like myself, for example, that have cartons of notebooks at home in my attic, dating back like 5, 6, 7 years, because I take a lot of notes. I can now save some rainforest and a lot of other things, save some storage space, and I have everything online instead. This is how you've transformed my life.
Absolutely. And then we've noticed that 2/3 of our users were using Evernote in a work context, at work, in a business context. And this is when 2 years ago we have actually launched Evernote Business. Now, the magic thing with Evernote Business is that it allows you to surface the knowledge which is hidden inside your company, because it is not humanly possible for you to know what your colleagues know. And you start working on a project only to realize that somebody sitting 3 desks next to you was maybe knowing more. So via related notes, you have the possibility now to actually, in terms of decision making, but also efficiency, be very, very fast. It's going back to being really fast, I think. And we have taken this even a step further. A couple of weeks ago, we have announced a partnership with Wall Street with Wall Street Journal and Dow Jones. And basically, the moment you start working and typing in Evernote, together with your team, you will get real-time context from Wall Street Journal and Factiva showing up. So say I'm here in Stockholm today, I type Stockholm, so suddenly I see everything that is going on without me being, worried about going and searching and looking and so on and so forth. This is why we say that Evernote is an augmented intelligence platform, because it should anticipate what you need. It should help you, not think for you, but it should allow you work in the most efficient way possible.
Which is something we talked about earlier this morning on main stage, actually, this whole development. But okay, so you mentioned speed again. How much can you relate to, I mean, you being based in the same region as some of the other companies, how much can you relate to what Annika is talking about?
Oh, very much. And bureaucracy is banned at Evernote. So our it's completely banned. And so are stupid meetings. Now, what is a stupid meeting? A stupid meeting is one in where you sit and the moment you leave, you feel like you have totally wasted your time.
Right.
So this is something that we don't do, and we are very strict about, like you have the right to call a meeting with somebody if you are a good person to meet. You're a good person to meet when you do your homework, meaning, you send stuff before the meeting, you know exactly what you want to get out of it, which means that you shouldn't be spending anyway more than 25 minutes in a meeting. So we have these kind of gongs in meeting rooms. So 25 minutes, you hear a sign that, okay, you should maybe wrapping up.
I think that's a key takeaway for everyone, really.
And also the flat structure. So this, I think, as we are growing, and we are a global company, so we have different offices. It's a very international team. It's very complex. But as you are growing, keeping your structure flat is top priority, and the whole bottom-up approach. So it's really a question of, first of all, hiring and finding the right people. Empowering them, like trusting them. You have to trust your employees. You have to empower them, and then you have to get out of their way.
Right, and this is also a showstopper. So you need to get out of their way.
Yeah.
And when we talked earlier before you coming here, it was like, So the key assignment for leaders and HR, then in that case as well, is to attract the best people and then do everything they can to get out of their way. What does that mean, really?
Well, this is linked to failure and the fear of failure, which for us here in Europe is a huge problem. And I think this is something that we can definitely learn from Silicon Valley, where what is failure at the end of the day, right? Because if you don't try things, how can you innovate? And if you don't try and learn fast, and it's all about learning really fast and being able to adapt and to adjust, and you're looking at Evernote, but at Facebook or other companies, there were so many products that have been launched or features that have been maybe stopped at one point in time, but this is not a failure because,
Right.
It was a continuous learning process. So getting out of their way means that you actually trust them that they will do their best work. Sometimes it may not be the best outcome from a business perspective, right, from a return on investment. But nevertheless, this will empower your team and they will evolve and they will learn a lot. And this will, of course, affect your company for a long time going forward.
So get out of their way. How do you relate to Changemakers and the quest for Changemakers when you attract people to?
We only hire Changemakers. We are at that stage where I think in order to work at Evernote, you have to be a changemaker, you have to be an entrepreneur yourself, because there is absolutely no micromanagement. Now, when I started working at Evernote, and it goes back to almost 3 years, I was the very first hire in Europe, and I was actually not looking for a job, but I've seen our CEO, Phil, talking at Low Web a couple of years before, and I was totally, impressed with this idea of building the 100-year startup and making the world smarter. It seems such a great thing, right? And then it was actually by accident, a friend of mine tweeted that they were looking for somebody in communications in Europe, and I have been using Evernote all the way, for research purposes especially. And it felt like, oh, this is for me, And then, you know how it is in Europe. Okay, when you apply for a job, it's quite a complex, long, complicated process. So I said, okay, I will give it a try. And I sent an email, and I was really surprised because, after 10 minutes, I got a reply back saying, hey, we want to talk to you. Let's have a Skype.
Right.
And then, of course, you prepare, you photocopy all your beautiful diplomas and certificates and letters of recommendation.
Like we do.
And you have ready to push send,
Yeah.
And then, this is really something really astonishing in Silicon Valley, because they look at your CV, and in Europe, of course, you went to this university, and they will say, wow, you went to this university. This means that you're really, really smart, well done. And it was, okay, you went to the university, did you have fun? Okay. And it came down to
that was the follow-up qualification question.
Show me what you can do.
Right.
Like, I don't care about your diplomas, I don't care about, not even so much about your work experience. Like, show me what you want to do with your life, and show me how are you going to do it.
Yeah.
And then the hiring process was really like, next week I was hired, basically, which was really, really fast. And I think this is what unites everybody working at Evernote is, first of all, the love for the product and for the company and for the vision, because we love Evernote. Like, as you mentioned before, we are those people who say Evernote changed our lives.
You recruit the ones that are addicted already.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay,
and
good.
We believe that we can do even better, by coming all together and trying to come up with smart ideas and try to work hard to make it even better. And what is really important is, of course, you have salaries and benefits and what have you, because, this is how it is today. But I think what unites and what makes people happy at Evernote is the fact that you're part of something that is actually changing the world, because we are revolutionizing the way people work today. I mean, only when you think about, I don't know, the way we write today, it's no longer opening whatever software and then you have an A4 paper format that doesn't really correspond to how we are doing today. Today we are using pen and paper, but we are also typing on our computer, and then we have some audio notes, and we have images, and we have a lot of things that should be on a same place, right? Yep. And we believe that also when it comes to Evernote Business. So when we launched Evernote Business, it was mainly because we were frustrated, and we said, why should you be punished when you're at work to use some lousy devices and some stupid software? It's like, especially today when you have all these beautiful devices and apps, and since you're spending most of your time working, because this is your passion, this is what you like to do, why shouldn't you have this amazing user experience at work? So we should come up with something, we should fix this.
So, amazing user experience at work. I won't do a raise of hands on this one. But it's you also have a vending machine, I hear, where you can sort of go and if we need a new cord for the laptop or we need a new iPad, we tend to go to an overwhelmed IT department. But you have sort of a vending machine. Yeah. You just push hit and you get.
So it says, take what you want.
Take what you want. Yeah.
And again, we have lots of great things. We have an amazing
because
coffee machine.
You said like Comp and Ben is like everybody has it, but you sort of you take it 2 or 3 or 4 steps further than many others. It's true,
but then I think if you would want to work at Evernote only for the benefits, you would not be hired.
Right.
It would not be a good thing to do, because the benefits are there and they are nice, and because we are such a great company and we have amazing people, we always come up with amazing ideas. Like we have this now recently introduced the really super sophisticated coffee machine that all the executive team had to have a special barista training to know how to operate it, and yet another 10 hours to know how to do the latte art,
Right, it is art.
And we do have the executive team members, being the baristas for everybody, so they have, this is nice because it also gives
like
the possibility to have,
the
possibility to have some informal chats with the team members, which is really nice. And there are many other really nice perks, but again,
so
it is not.
When you go into the office on Monday morning, you can have Phil making your coffee or your
you
latte.
Totally can have the CEO making you coffee, and in Zurich we have slightly adjusted that because we have introduced a very stylish bar.
Okay.
And we are going more in the direction of cocktails. So it's more
cocktails.
Monday morning. After work.
Monday
fun.
morning.
No, Monday morning.
Okay. And I also hear that you used to have a sort of a robot or a webcam of some sort because Phil was traveling.
Yeah, in the beginning it's true. We had this kind of a robot when Phil was away just going through the office, so you could see Phil popping up on the screen. Now today we have an all-hands meeting. So this is when the CEO is talking to the company, and for those in Redwood City, of course, they are on site, and all other international offices have the possibility. I mean, you know, it's kind of like always 1 a.m. our time here, so whoever is awake can definitely watch live, but most of us are watching the recording afterwards.
Okay. But it's really, because you're growing a lot, and as you know, Phil is away a lot, and then when you go to Redwood and you meet with Alice Hammond, who's heading up talent HR, and Phil, and you talk about the quest for changemakers, the quest for talent, what will a conversation like that look like? Because it's not easy growing as much as you do, finding these insanely talented people, although you have the benefits, etc., because you're in the valley and everybody's hunting the same people. How do you talk about the talent challenges now?
Yeah, so finding people is really hard. And in our case, it's, as I mentioned before, you know, we really like to find those people who are always already, you know, thinking about Evernote or using the product, or, you know, they had some connection before with us and they know how we are operating. And retaining them is equally a challenge, right, for everybody.
Right.
So how can you make sure that somebody who's super smart stays with you for years, right? Why would they do that? Well, they do that because, again, it's not the salary and the perks, which, yes, they are very nice to have, and it's, you know, it's a lot of fun and so on and so forth. But these super smart people, I think for them, there is only one important thing, which is food for thought. Like, give them amazing projects. Give them something that they can create that is going to change the world.
Right.
This is what's going to make them happy. This is what's going to make them stay. And we have programs. We have the Evernote Academy, where you can learn whatever you want. You know, if your dream was to learn whatever Japanese, you can definitely do so by subscribing to the Evernote Academy. And we try to invest in your further personal and professional development with the hope that your next job is still going to be at Evernote. So the moment you grow and the moment you feel, okay, it's time for me to do something else, we really hope that your next job is going to be still with us. And if it's not with us, then we really, really hope that at least the time we spent together had a pretty significant impact on your life.
So in sort of the project economy that we live in a sense, where you stay short and shorter periods in your job, and then you move on because you want more challenges, more learning, try to sort of tap into that, but not necessarily with professional learning, but it can be learning anything, just to keep them motivated and sort of ahead of...
And professional learning, no, professional learning is an important element, is a key element. And how you are doing this? Well, the moment you hire people, it's not only about hiring for a specific position. You have to look at hiring people inside a team. And you have to create that rock star team that will allow, you know, growth. So they will learn from each other. They will push boundaries. Because they are entrepreneurs, they will always try to find ways to come up with something clever. And this is the kind of environment where changemakers thrive.
So trying to finish off with a few of the things that this crowd might be able to learn from you or cherry pick. You said that when we talked earlier, you said that you have a saying at Evernote that the biggest room in the world is the room for improvement, which I really liked, because it also allows for this change and this learning to happen. What do you think can be some of the things that this crowd could improve using some of the components or recipes that you use for both finding the talent, but then, as you say, keeping them?
Yeah, so it's always a question of, again, trusting people somehow, making sure that when you're hiring them, they are aware of the fact that you fully trust them. And what they have like green light to achieve greatness. Like, sky is the limit. And your mission is to have fun while doing it and trying and pushing the limits, because it's the only way that, you know, allows companies to innovate. And then don't rely on structures. Like, don't feel that, okay, you know, now I have my manager has to come up and say, okay, let's check this project. Where are you? What's going on? You know, it's not
Right.
about that. Like, really, you have to have this hire for entrepreneurs, because entrepreneurs, first of all, they are passionate about what they are doing. It's not about getting a salary. It's not about 9 to 5. Their life is their work. And this is not to say that you work 24/7. This
Right.
is to say that you work smarter, not harder, you know, because you will always find ways to do whatever you're passionate about, right? And get out of their way.
Okay, so hire insanely talented people, get out of their way, show them 150% that you trust them, and focus on the entrepreneurs, and change will happen. And I think it's a beautiful take from a super successful company, and it'll be interesting to see your journey, because you said 100-year-old startup, so you're 6 years now, that's 6%, lots of things to
We have
come.
a
Lot of work.
Yeah.
But we're happy that you're here, because you'll stay the full afternoon. So
Thank you so much.
yeah, super.
It's great to be here. Thank you so much. And please feel free to come up. I will not ask for questions now, but I will be around. So looking forward to talking to you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. Thank you very much.
Thank you.